Good afternoon to everyone. How is everyone doing? Trying to see like faces here. Oh, good. I love this. Thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And I know we have a couple other people who will be joining us as well as the time goes, but I know we always give grace as people are transitioning. But just want to say good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the LGBTQ Pride Month Excellence Awards. I'm Dr. Valerie Romero-Leggett. I'm the Vice President and Diversity Executive Officer for our Health Sciences Center and also a family practice doc. And it's just my absolute pleasure to welcome everyone as we continue to celebrate the LGBTQ Pride Month and of course with our just amazing esteemed awardees for our Excellence Awards this month. And I know that many of you have been part of our other awards through the last several years and for this year as well. And just really, I just appreciate, the opportunity where we can just be bringing awareness each month and education to our health and health sciences and also be honoring individuals and teams and organizations who really exhibit and espouse what these excellence awards are for each of our Heritage and History Months. I want to give a shout out and thank you to Amra Swan and Kendra Hill from our team for their coordination, both in soliciting the nominations and really bringing all of us here together today. And also to thank our nominators for recognizing the individuals and the teams and the organizations and taking time to reflect and write about these exceptional awardees that we're going to hear from today. Just a little bit of history too, for those who may not be aware, but this month nationally commemorates the New York City Stonewall riots in June of 1969. So 55 years ago, the international gay rights movement was born, right, out of strength and resilience and drive of these activists in this uprising, right, from this uprising. So again, in June, we know we celebrate our Pride Month, and many of the cities around the world, they have a theme for Pride Month. And, as we were looking at that, sometimes it's a national theme, other times it's by city. So this year with New York City's, they have Reflect, Empower, and Unite, right? And we really felt that this theme really reflects the work of our awardees perfectly. And just really reminds us about so many things and the way that and what we need, in this day and age, and is a way I feel like to help us overcome some things together and take action, right? So I just feel like, again, given sometimes where we are in, our current climate and culture in this world that we live in too, we know so many of our communities and the LGBTQ plus community really have experienced, harassment, discrimination, marginalization, but we want that theme, right? Reflect, empower, and unite to really be a call of action, for all of us. And again, we feel it's reflected so much in our awardees today. So the next part of the program, both of our awardees will have the opportunity to share with everyone, again, who they are, what their journeys have been to becoming the health professionals and professionals that they are, how they hope to continue serving and are serving the LGBTQ plus communities at the health and health sciences and the community at large, and what this award means to them. And then after their speeches, we're certainly going to open up and we would love to hear any additional congratulations, words, comments from any of our audience members here today. So I'm going to just go right into our first awardee and very much have the privilege to introduce and welcome our awardee, which will be Eddie. I think we'll start with you. And I just want to be sure, I believe you're the person who had nominated you is Mikey Sanchez Lucero could not attend today, correct? And I just want to make sure he's not here. Okay.
That is correct, Dr.
Okay, good. I don't want to start talking, then all of a sudden it's like, I'm here. So.
No, he's in the Bahamas on vacation right now.
Oh yeah, so he's definitely not showing up. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Eddie Alvarado, so this is what Mike had to say. I'm honored to nominate Eddie Alvarado for the HSC Office for DEI Excellence Award for LGBTQ Pride Month. Eddie epitomizes the spirit of DEI at UNMH and HSC. He lives his life with authenticity and courage, embodying what it means to be unapologetically oneself. Eddie's kindness and passion are evident in his interactions with everyone he meets. With nearly 8 years at UNMH and 7 on the LGBTQ collaborative, Eddie has dedicated most of his career to fostering an inclusive environment. He consistently voices his opinions with respect and open-mindedness, encouraging diverse perspectives. And his extensive knowledge of LGBTQ plus resources in our community makes him an invaluable asset to colleagues and patients alike. Eddie's commitment extends beyond his professional role. As a volunteer crisis support counselor for the Trevor Project for 9 years, he's provided critical support to countless individuals. His work with a local LGBTQ plus youth nonprofit last year, mentoring unhoused and unsupported youth, highlight his dedication to making a tangible difference. Eddie's support for local queer performers and events, including his enthusiastic presence at drag shows and pride events, further showcases his dedication to the community. His vibrant and proud participation in the Pride Parade representing UNM Health is a testament to his unwavering advocacy. Eddie Alvarado is a beacon of excellence in DEI, and I wholeheartedly endorse him for this award. His contributions to the LGBTQ plus community at UNM Health and Health Sciences are truly outstanding. All right, Eddie, congratulations. So we are going to turn it over to you and have you share some of your journey and the work you're doing and continue to do and what the award means to you. So thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Dr. Romero. And I know this is being recorded, and I hope Mikey gets a chance to watch it later. Thank you so much, Mikey, for those words. I didn't know they were going to be read, and now I'm all emotional. I prepared a speech. Hopefully, I covered all the prompts that we were sent. So good afternoon, everyone. I am truly honored and deeply moved to be standing in front of you all on Zoom right now, accepting this Excellence Award for LGBTQ Pride Month. I want to thank everyone who supported me on this incredible journey. Your encouragement and love mean the world to me. And my path to becoming a health professional has been anything but straightforward. Growing up, I often felt like I was living in a world that I didn't fit into or didn't quite understand me. I spent years trying to fit into a mold that wasn't meant for me, and it wasn't until I came out that I began to truly live. And coming out was one of the most liberating, but also most terrifying experiences of my life. And in that moment, I made a promise to myself to live authentically and to help others do the same. And I remember my first day at UNMH nearly 8 years ago. I was a nervous wreck, kind of like I am right now, trying to remember how to put on my scrubs correctly. I think I even put on my pants backwards at least once. But from that humble beginning as a clinical medical assistant, I've grown through roles in outpatient primary care, through COVID emergency response teams, inpatient careteching, patient careteching, and now as the resource coordinator in employee well-being. And each step of this journey has taught me the power of compassion, resilience, and the importance of inclusive care. And now, as I pursue my bachelor's degree in behavioral health with a focus in trauma at Grand Canyon University, I'm constantly reminded of the unique challenges our community faces. My studies have not only broadened my knowledge, but also have fueled my passion to advocate for LGBTQ plus individuals, ensuring that we receive the care and the respect that we deserve. Volunteering as a crisis support counselor for the Trevor Project for nearly a decade has been a profound experience for me. I've had countless conversations with young people who felt lost and alone, just as I once did. And to be able to provide them with that hope and reassurance is a privilege that I hold dear. Last year, mentoring unhoused and unsupported LGBTQ plus youth through a local nonprofit was equally impactful for me. and seeing their strength and resilience has been both humbling and inspiring. This award is not just about my journey, it's about our collective progress. It's a testament to the power of authenticity, the importance of advocacy, and the strength we find in our community. It's also a reminder that we still have work to do, and I'm committed to continuing this journey. And as I look to the future, I am excited to keep serving on the LGBTQ or for the LGBTQ community here at UNM Health and Health Sciences and beyond through, of course, the LGBTQ collaborative here at UNMH. And I want to help create spaces where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Whether that's through patient care, educational initiatives, or community outreach, my goal is to ensure that inclusivity remains at the forefront of our mission. And just quickly, a story that brings a smile to my face. During my first Pride event, my first Pride parade, back when I was, I think, 19 years old. This was actually before I even had come out to my family. I attended a Pride parade on my own with a couple of friends. And I was so excited, but we were walking in front of this float. It was a pickup truck. And I was so excited, I tripped over my own feet. And I fell right in front of the float. But you know what? I got up, I dusted myself off, and I just kept dancing. I kept screaming. I kept being there in the moment because that's what Pride's all about. It's about celebrating our imperfections and embracing who we are. And receiving this award is a deeply personal achievement for me, but it's also a celebration of our shared dedication to making the world a more accepting and loving place. And to my colleagues and friends who are on this call right now, thank you for your unwavering support and belief in me. So I'm going to get super emotional. And to those who are still struggling to find their place or a voice, know that you're not alone. We're here for you, and together we can create a future where everyone can live authentically and proudly. And thank you again, Dr. Lego and the HSC Office of DEI for this incredible honor. I hope that we continue to champion the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion in all that we do. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Eddie, I think you made so many of us and just so heartfelt, and we could certainly feel what you have to say, and it did bring tears to my eyes too, and just cannot thank you enough. You had so many amazing messages in there, and I just love that, again, you took those things that were, just caused a lot of fear and anxiety and just were painful for you, and you created the space and opportunity, and the work that you've done is to really help others, right? To get beyond that, to learn, like you said, I loved what you're saying, and I'm not going to say it as well as you did, that you were saying something about, yes, this is like the opportunity to celebrate our imperfections and really like who we are, right? Like who we truly are, and bring that out. And I just cannot thank you enough for that. That's really very powerful and very much appreciated. So I know we have like a lot of things in the chat, and congratulations too, but I'm also gonna give the opportunity here for others to say something as well. And please go ahead and speak up. If you just go ahead and start talking, if you want to say something here to Eddie, or just make any comments. Thank you.
I'll just break the ice real quick and say that I'm really proud to be able to work with Eddie and to have him as my colleague. So thank you, Eddie. And thank you for all you do, because you help make a world that I want to live in. So thank you.
We see a lot of pride and wonderful things in the chat, and you all please feel free to like say it. We have congratulations, incredibly proud to be working with you. Many congratulations, and just very wonderful things. I'm gonna allow for a few more seconds too, if anyone else wants to say anything. I mean, verbally, because we're getting a lot of things being said in the chat for sure.
You give us the convenience of the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that chat away. Next time.
I will go ahead and verbally just share my congratulations, but also just the gratefulness for the words that you shared. I think that there's a really powerful message in what you stated and shared with your experience, and something that I really value in what you had to bring today. So thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I'll try to collect myself to say a thing to Eddie. I get the great honor of working with Eddie every single day, and he makes the workplace just so much fun. But I'm so incredibly proud. Eddie is such an advocate for everybody that he meets, and he's taught me a lot about how to use my voice to create those environments so people feel heard and seen and honored. And I appreciate all about you, Eddie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. Really appreciate that, and Lindsay as well. Well, Eddie, it's amazing. And I did forget to say, and I don't think you had mentioned either, but Eddie is our resource coordinator of employee well-being at the University of New Mexico Hospital. So thank you as well for that work and all of the tremendous community and volunteer work that you do, and for sharing that, very personal, vulnerable story, right? So thank you for allowing us the honor of that today.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah. Okay, so onward, and please to throughout this thing, and when we're after our next awardee too, people can, of course, this is just open mic. So the next awardee I'm very happy to introduce for you is Jonathan Hulse. And Jonathan is in our MD PhD program, one of our students here, and his nominators were Dr. Justin Baca and Dr. David Perkins, who are the directors of our School of Medicine combined MD PhD program. So very excited about hearing from Jonathan today and his substantial contributions to the workforce and the LGBTQ students and allies in healthcare. So I know that Dr. Baca is actually trying to get on. He's up somewhere in the mountains in Colorado somewhere, and he was having wonky Wi-Fi. So he said he may be able to kind of come on in spots, but I will read the nomination from you. And I don't believe Dr. Perkins is here, that he was unable to make it. So I will have the honor again of reading the nomination. And again, if Dr. Baca is able to join us, he will absolutely add his comments. And I know Dr. Cameron Crandall was also unavailable on shift, but he is sending his congratulations. So Jonathan Hulse is an MD PhD student who has made substantial contributions to the development of a health workforce that's responsive to the needs of the LGBTQ plus community at UNM through his role as a leader of the LGBTQ Students and Allies in Healthcare organization. In this role, Mr. Hulse has led the development of a novel longitudinal curricular thread on LGBTQ healthcare that has been integrated across all 4 years of the medical school curriculum. All four. That's actually very remarkable, since there are so many things that happen over those 4 years. So remarkably, Mr. Hulse also developed and implemented about 25 content hours on LGBTQ plus healthcare that specifically addresses the unique health needs of the community. And remember, prior to this, there were not 24 hours of that kind of education, which is so critically important, right, for our health professionals to do as they're learning. So much of the curriculum has been adopted by other programs at the HSC, including the PA program. And additionally, Mr. Hulse pioneered the implementation of interprofessional case-based activity on transgender healthcare that includes students from the School of Medicine, College of Pharmacy, and the College of Nursing, with nearly 1,000 students completing the training activity to date. So very exciting work. To promote this advocacy work within the realm of academic medicine, Mr. Hulse has conducted thorough curriculum evaluation research on these interventions and shared these findings at multiple national conferences. He also received the 2023 Building the Next Generation of Academic Physicians LGBT Health Workforce Conference Award, Junior Leadership Award for his work. And he's currently working on publishing the curricular interventions in some academic medical journals for use by institutions across the globe. Jonathan is an ardent advocate for LGBTQ plus health equity, and his efforts have improved both the learning environment and the quality of LGBTQ plus health education at our school. So congratulations, Jonathan, and we look forward to hearing from you now.
It looks like I froze. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, and you did freeze, but that's okay. Oh, now you're back. You're back. Okay.
This is just the issues trying to do Zoom meetings when you have like spotty connection across
Yeah.
campus. I'm really honored to receive this award. I thank you all so much for selecting me. And let's see if I'm able to. I actually made a presentation because that's the only way that I know how to talk is by standing behind a slide and talking about like data and things like that especially as an MD PhD student. So it was mentioned like all of the work that I'm being honored here for today was education work, and this was really done. It would be wrong for me to accept this award without acknowledging the team that it takes to put all of this together. So I really want to highlight and show the faces of so many of the people who have supported me and helped with all of the work that I've done over the past 5 years here at the University of New Mexico. Many of them are faculty who you probably know very well. I really want to give a special shout out to Cameron Crandall because he's been a very good personal mentor of mine, as well as Ed Finkovic and Molly McLean, Ann Morrison, Dr. Aragon, Dr. Salas, Dr. Rogers, and then all of these other people that you see here are phenomenal medical students who have all become doctors in their own right and are now away doing residency or even finishing residency now. So there's so many people that have helped me along the way and that have put in a lot of effort for the award that I'm being acknowledged here for today. So it really does take a village to make the changes that you want to see, and it's so hard to work alone. And that leads me to one of the things that I wanted to talk about, that I was thinking about with this award, is what does it mean to me to be a member of the LGBTQ community in medicine? And I think one of the first things that people's mind probably goes to is just about the idea of having an LGBTQ identity. And that is what associates you with the LGBTQ community, and what are the implications of that? So what is the implication of being out in medicine? We know things like representation, but also the risks of being out, of putting yourself out there to be discriminated against. But I think what was more important when I was thinking of those words with LGBTQ community is the idea of community in itself, because my LGBTQ identity is such a huge part of my life, but not in just the who I love or how I identify. It's about the community that I identify with. It's the culture that I participate in. It's the friends and family that contribute to my life and bring me joy and bring me a sense of connection and belonging. It's the way that my community enriches my life, and the way that I know that my community has my back when I need it most. And I think with being a member of a community, there's an inherent obligation that you have to your community. When you say, these are my people, these are the people I care about, it means that when your community needs you for support, you show up. When your community is in pain, you feel that same pain. And that's what I think is most important about being a member of the LGBTQ community, especially in healthcare, because as healthcare professionals, we're in a huge position of privilege to be able to make a difference in our patients' lives. And we have this very large obligation to make sure that we're doing right by our communities, especially the communities that need us most, the communities who are facing the most severe health inequities because of systemic discrimination. And when I first went to medical school, I don't think that was immediately plain to me, but it became clear very quickly that our communities are experiencing health inequities and that we have an obligation. And that's where a lot of this passion was born out of. And so what I'd like to really talk about over the next couple of minutes is what's really driven me the most for a lot of this educational work that I've done. And that's particularly focusing on healthcare disparities experienced by the transgender community, because I think that's one of the largest crises that we're currently in right now, is a crisis affecting the transgender community that currently in large part is being exacerbated by a sort of nationwide attack on access to gender affirming care, or equal access to rights for the transgender community. And I think that this trans legislation tracker really showcases just how much the political landscape has changed in the past few years. I think in 2015, there was 21 bills introduced across the nation that were aimed at restricting the rights of transgender people in the US. And since then, that number has just exploded in the past few years alone. I think that the existence of our transgender community and the rights that they have to be able to access all of the spaces and health and enjoy their lives the way that the rest of our communities do has really come under fire with this large explosion in anti-trans legislation being introduced. And a large portion of that is, especially in the past few years, has really been focused on restricting access to gender affirming care, which we know is backed by data to really improve the lives of transgender patients. And there are significant impacts. So these three graphs here are from a paper that just came out on Tuesday. So it was a very, very recent publication showing trends in the health status of transgender adults across the United States over the past few years. And what you see is worsening of health status, worsening of depression, and worsening of frequent mental distress, especially in the past few years alone. So the culture and the attacks on transgender individuals, all of these things are contributing to worse health outcomes, which we know our transgender community has already experienced worse health outcomes than the cisgender individuals in the United States. So these problems are worsening. And so we have a crisis in our hand with a stronger need for us to make a larger difference. The 2022 US Trans Survey also has an early report out, and they showed that as much as half, or like 50% almost, so 47% of trans individuals have considered even leaving their state because of this legislation that's being introduced. So we have a crisis, and a lot of this pertains to the way that transgender individuals are treated in healthcare as well. 1 in 4 trans patients state that they avoid seeing a doctor within the past year because they're afraid of being mistreated as a trans person. And recent data shows that one in 2, so almost 50% of trans patients have reported having at least one negative experience related to being trans in the healthcare setting in this past year. And this is very recent data. Additionally, insurance denial in fact affects a very large portion of the trans community. So not being able to have their healthcare covered by insurance. And all of these things are only worsening these health outcomes. And it's something that we have a personal obligation to address. The previous transgender survey showed that the #1 reported negative experience amongst the trans community in healthcare is having to teach their provider about trans people and about their health needs in order to get the appropriate care that they need to address their health. So it's this issue, and this became obvious as soon as I joined medical school, that there's really just nothing. There's no content on how to care for trans individuals in our medical curriculum. And this is what's driving a lot of these issues. And so that was really what inspired a lot of the efforts that we put into building a healthcare curriculum that can address some of these specific health needs. There's actually data, how much training does it take to get providers comfortable working with the trans community and able to address some of these basic issues? It's really not much. It's like 10 required hours with 25 hours of supplemental education, and about at least 25 patient contacts is enough to build a basic level of competency. But what's actually happening, the data that we have on this is pretty limited, but across the nation, the median amount of hours spent in medical schools on LGBTQ curriculum is only 5 hours. And this is nationwide. With nursing, it's an average of 2.5. Pharmacy, most have 0 to only 1 to 3 hours. Occupational therapy, less than 2 hours for the most part. So there's a very large gap in this education across the US. And when you look at what is actually being taught, almost all of it is about HIV and STI management, which is certainly a problem that affects the LGBTQ community. But when we focus on just HIV and STIs, I think that this is also stigmatizing the medical education that we have. If we're only talking about the sexual related diseases that our population experiences, but not all of the other health impacts that we have, all the other unique health needs we have, then we're not getting all the education that we need. And almost none of this is focusing on gender affirming care. And so, as it was mentioned, I was able to work with this incredible team of folks, and we were able to build 25 hours of curriculum. It's probably too small to read all of this, but it literally spans from the orientation week in medical school throughout the phase 3 and 4 curriculum. So this was a huge amount of effort, and I think it has really made a difference, but it's certainly not the end. I think moving forward, one of the bigger focuses now is making sure that this is maintained, because a lot of this was student-driven efforts, but students come and go. So making sure that our faculty also have all of the competencies necessary to keep teaching this curriculum and to ensure that it is improved upon every year as the knowledge changes and as the needs change. So that's going to be one of the big challenges moving forward. And then I'm happy to announce that I was accepted to receive an academic writing fellowship from the Building the Next Generation of Academic Physicians. And I think for me, this is what my plan is moving forward. How am I going to keep doing this work at a larger scale that's more impactful? We've done so much here at UNM, and I think we can really serve as a model for other institutions to follow. But the important part is getting that medical education content published, getting it out there so that it's available for other schools to use, so that every university across the US isn't having to reinvent the wheel on teaching LGBTQ healthcare, because it's so much work. And admittedly, there's a lot of stuff that was already available that we were able to draw upon, or that we weren't actually able to use ourselves. So we had to reinvent the wheel a lot of times, and it takes a lot of effort. So trying to make sure that we can break these barriers and encourage folks to follow in these efforts so that we can actually address these at a much larger scale. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and how I can continue to contribute to these efforts in the future. So I will stop sharing. And thank you so much for this award. It really means a lot.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciated that. And thank you for educating us all as well, too, as part of that. And like you said, like that's how you share, and it was wonderful. And just, when you were talking in the beginning too, just about community, right? Like how important that aspect is, not only again, who we provide care to, right, in our communities that way, but like our own community, and like where you said, we have our loved ones, our family, our friends, our supporters, the culture of these communities, and just how important that is for all of us, right? And I think Eddie was talking about this as well too. And again, the idea of the connection, people feeling connected and people feeling like they belong. So thank you for sharing that with us. Very much appreciated. And I'm going to open up and see if anyone else would like to share a few words as well.
I will verbally share my congratulations as well, and to second my appreciation for the presentation and having the information, partly because I also absorb information in that same way. I'm not sure if that's like a positive or a negative at this point. I need to balance that with some TikTok so I can find a happy medium. But I think that having the information and the data is so helpful for all of us to be able to continually advocate. I think that sometimes some things go more kind of get invisibilized. I'm just going to make that word up unless it is a real word. And until you show people this information, not just statistically, but also the lives that it impacts. And I think that is something that goes a long way, especially in settings like ours. So I appreciate that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Really appreciate those words. And I know, I don't know if you're reading in there, Jonathan, but I'll just read out too, just excellent informative presentation, and to thank you and congratulations, Jonathan. I know Stephen was saying your work's so important for everyone in the community, and a thanks there. And Eddie's, of course, his fellow awardee, congratulating you for the work of you and your team, right? And that is advancing. It's crucial to seeing health equity around the world. Reese, and congratulations. Thanks for the presentation, and congrats. Amy, congratulations. Luis Carlos Minos as well. Congratulations. So lots of people chatting it up here and offering for both of our awardees. Any last words from anyone before I say some closing remarks? Anyone else? Okay, good. Okay. Well, I am again just very appreciative that everyone joined us today, and congratulations one more time. Give a huge shout out and our congratulations to Eddie Alvarado and Jonathan Hall. So just really so proud and so appreciative of who you are and what you're bringing, and just it's wonderful to learn about each other and really to celebrate the different things that we're doing, because a lot of it's like we don't know, right? Like unless you're in a lot of times this work or the pockets or your recipient, and somehow like we don't know some of this. So I love when we're coming together in any venue, right? But for these awards, like really celebrating people who are in there doing this each and every day, and just the many things that are out there, and just makes me feel so wonderful and proud, and also just like, gosh, yeah, it's again, it's family, it's community, right? Like we are, and I appreciate again people sharing and being part of this, but also just the incredible work and the love and the perseverance and just everything that you all as our awardees bring, but all of us here. And I just appreciate everyone again for joining and being able to celebrate our Health Sciences Center Office for DEI Excellence Awards for our LGBTQ Pride Month. And just from the bottom of my heart, and representing, our entire office, and I feel like our entire HSC community, we really appreciate you, and just want to thank you as well. And thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm always like, this to me is like such a highlight. I leave here like just lifted and ready to kind of take on, but just it feels like wonderful and very warm and special. So thank you so much. And thank you all for joining too, to celebrate and to be here with us. And if anyone wants to make any shout out here before we're ending this meeting, please feel free, but I'm like ready to just go on and have like this amazing day from you guys. Really, thank you.
I just want to know about the projector behind you, Eddie. Is that a
It's
it looks awesome. I want one for my
a
office.
laser show.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, wow.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be reaching out. And Jonathan, you were just saying what, that you and Eddie this time, what were you saying?
This is so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we had never met before, Eddie and I, and during the Pride Parade, we were both, marching down Central, and Eddie was carrying this massive Pride flag, and so I was like, I'm gonna go hold the other end of it so that it's
I can't believe how that happened.
I know.
Year.
I just realized it was you, Jonathan, that you saved
Oh my
the day, 'cause I
gosh.
was so tired holding that flag, and then you came and helped, and we finished strong. So yes.
Oh my gosh, if you guys have a picture of that, you should send it so we could post it with our heritage. I mean, I can't believe how perfect that is. If someone has a picture, we'll have to check with Fabian too, or somebody. If anybody has a picture of that, we need it. That
Check with
cool.
Julian, Dr. Romero. Check with Julian, the social media guy.
Oh, okay. And if you guys hear or you get it too or anything, please send it to us.
Sure.
With Amherst and Kendra and us, and we will definitely. I cannot believe how.
I know how funny.
Happened for a reason. That's beautiful. Okay. Well, we cannot surpass that as an ending. I love that. So thank you everyone again, and just have an amazing day, and congratulations again, Eddie and Jonathan. Well done. Thank you. Take care, everybody. And thank you, Amherst and Kendra, as well, again.